do a couple of things right quick. Oh, wait a minute. No. All right, screwed that up. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. All right. Should be live now. Should have a better. Let's see what this device do as opposed to the phone. So as you guys come in, give me an audio check. Let me know everything is good, and we'll go ahead and continue on from my last live, which is learning to not be uncomfortable. We'll learn how to be comfortable in being uncomfortable, because basically that's what stagnates everyone's growth anyway. That's what stagnate people's growth and stuff, is that you're trying to be in the position of being comfortable. I mean, we're all guilty of it, and the only way, I ain't gonna say it's the only way, but the best way to get things done is to be in a position of constant uncomfortableness, because when you're in a position of comfortable uncomfortableness stuff, it allows you to work on the things that you're lacking. Okay. Let's see, Brother Jackson. Hey, is my audio okay? Is my audio okay? Okay, good. All right. So it's many things and stuff. It's many things and stuff that goes on in just life, just life and period, that we want to be in that position of comfortableness. And so, when you're uncomfortable, or the thought of being uncomfortable prevents you from doing the things that's needed and necessary, to take that step into the thing that you want. It's like, like right now, people going to the gym. Well, going to the gym requires you to be uncomfortable, because you got to get up, you got to go to the gym and stuff. You're gonna be around a lot of people. So that sense of social awkwardness, that's being uncomfortable, not understanding or knowing how to lift weights or lose weight, so on and so forth. So it requires you to have to talk to those and stuff. Talk to people who dedicate their lives to going to the gym. And so, you see their attitudes and their demeanors and stuff. They don't want to be bothered. They're in the zone and so on and so forth. So, these things, these positions of uncomfortableness and stuff is stuff that people talk about and say, well, all right, I don't want to intrude on that, because I don't want to be I don't want no confrontation, which again is a position of uncomfortableness. And so, you say, well, all right, I got to learn these things on my own. And so, learning things on your own is, again, putting you in a position of uncomfortableness. And I just simply want to learn. I want to do this thing, and I want to be good at what I do. And if I feel that I'm not going to be good at it, then there's no point in me trying to put time and energy into it, because now you can actually see the failure, right? Which is something that people don't want to do. It's like, well, I don't want to fail at nothing. So it ain't no point in stuff in it's no point in trying to put that forth in effort if that's what's going to happen, right? So people just simply don't do it, and they let the opportunity and stuff just slide on by. Business, same thing. I don't have an understanding or a clue of what I'm doing in business, trucking specifically, so there are, getting into the lease program. Why are so many people in the lease? Because it's a position of comfortableness, sign on the dotted line. You don't have to put no money down. You don't have to do any kind of networking. That means, picking up the phone and calling people. Your dispatcher takes care of everything. They're that one-stop shop. Something breaks down in the truck and stuff, no harm, no foul. We'll just go over here, get you in the shop, in the dealership, and take care of it. And whatever the bill is, you don't have to. We'll work out some kind of way of getting these things paid. And so, it's a position of being comfortable until that tab is due. And when the tab is due, and you got to get out here and have to put this this work in, now you're in a position of uncomfortableness. Same thing about, your settlements, yeah, you're in that zero money down lease. They'll find the loads and stuff for you. You pick up and deliver the load, and then come Friday, here's your settlements with all these expenses and stuff, money being taken out, and you don't know exactly what's what, right? So now I got to have that uncomfortable conversation with the payroll people. And so, when you don't know what you're looking at, or you don't understand the thing that you're looking at, that puts you in a position of uncomfortableness. And again, we want to be comfortable, so we want to act like we know what we're doing, we know what we're talking about. And so you start to have these conversations, and when you have the conversations, especially with people who know and understand, and they know that you ain't got no knowledge of the thing that you're talking about, you're kind of doing this thing, you're doing a real disservice to yourself to make it sound as though I know what I'm talking about. And they'll play along with it for the most part, because they just want you, they don't want you having, or they don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation themselves. And okay, well, we'll see what happens and stuff, and we'll try it again next week. And next week they got another week of work out of you, and you right back in the same boat again. So, you got to go into this position of being self-taught. And so being self-taught, which a lot of us are in that position, it requires, again, being real uncomfortable, having to learn these things and stuff. You got to look, you don't know which way and stuff to go. So you got to feel your way around until you find the thing that you actually need, So that's where we are and stuff. Is that the reason why we don't, for the most part, the reason why most of us, don't participate in certain things, or if we do participate in certain things, is because, it gives us a great sense of comfortableness, and we don't want to deal with being in those positions of uncomfortableness. Networking, for instance, networking, that requires you to be uncomfortable. You're gonna have to make some phone calls and stuff. You're gonna have to make some phone calls and explain your situation, and hope that the person that you're talking to has some kind of understanding, or can help you or point you in the right direction. And when you got social awkwardness that comes with that, the ability not to socialize with people, you don't know the right words and stuff to say. And so, a lot of us just don't know. So you're going to have to be uncomfortable, being socially awkward, until you graft that sense of social awkwardness out of you, and say, man, hey, listen, I'm gonna go out here and stuff. I'm gonna talk about things, and I'm gonna screw words up. I'm not gonna have an understanding of words. And so, but I'm still gonna have this conversation. I'm still gonna step with the best foot forward, because I want to learn this. I want to get an understanding about this. And some days and stuff are a little bit better than others. Some days you're gonna have to be talking with several different people, and then some days it's gonna be nobody at all. There's gonna be a lot of rejection. There's gonna be a lot of rejection and stuff that comes along with that. It's gonna be a lot of people saying no. And so handling rejection, that's putting you in a position of being uncomfortable. Everything is not going to be a home run. Everything's not going to be a home run. But as you continue to work on your craft, right? As you continue to work on your craft, you'll know who to talk to. You'll know where to go, so on and so forth. But again, that takes time, and it takes time of being in a position of uncomfortableness. A lot of people, well, why is it that you run the Northeast and stuff, and you do such a good job running the Northeast? Well, once upon a time, it wasn't like that. I was making a lot of mistakes. I was making a lot of mistakes and stuff, going into places that, going to very unfavorable places or whatever. But, it put me in a position of being uncomfortable. But I had to continue to work on through that and stuff. And so, I still do that now in business, as far as, if something is, if I have a choice as to what task needs to be done, I always go with the most. I'm always go with the most difficult, the most uncomfortable in every situation. Even if they're giving me a situation where it's going to put me in a position of being very comfortable, I always do the hardest task, and I get myself comfortable doing the hard, difficult work, the hard, difficult tasks and stuff. I'm not, like I tell anyone, I don't like going to New York or New Jersey or whatever. I don't like fighting the traffic or going through the city and stuff. But you do it enough times to where it doesn't bother you. The work is consistent there and stuff. And so in that's what helped me get the consistency that I needed in the craft that I'm in and stuff. So that networking, it's several things. That's being in these lease programs and stuff like that. As long as I was sitting there driving the truck and as long as I was sitting there driving the truck and stuff like that, just going up and down the road, just throwing caution to the wind, the progress was stagnating. So when I look around and I see people being successful in these programs and stuff, the common denominator is that they're willing to put themselves in a position of uncomfortableness. Now, this is something that you don't see or share. People don't like talking about that because it's not a very popular thing. You don't want to talk about being uncomfortable. Like, oh man, what are you, some kind of masochist or something like that? I mean, what's wrong with you? But that's what this business, or just anything in general that has any kind of tangible result, that's what it consists of you being uncomfortable. You got to make uncomfortable decisions, make uncomfortable conversations, do uncomfortable tasks. No one wants that. Hey man, look, I'm looking for the comfortableness. This is why, when you look at the lease programs and stuff, why are so many people going over there, despite the fact that you see that there's large amounts of failure inside these programs and stuff? Why do people flock over there? Because it's a position of comfortableness. Hey man, I can go over there with zero money down. I don't have to read a contract. I just sign on the dotted line, get the truck and go on up the road. I don't have to learn, the difference between going to mechanic shops and dealerships and learning those things there and stuff. Hey, something breaks down, they make the phone call and stuff for me, and that's that. Being a company driver, again, that puts you in a position of comfortableness, right? Because everything is being taken care of. So, but the most successful people that are company drivers they put themselves in uncomfortable positions. They're very assertive. Okay, well, yeah, they're very assertive. People might look at them and say, well, okay, well, they're at the job and stuff, and they're kissing everybody butt and all that other stuff there. And be as it may, then they're getting over here getting promoted. Now they're the fleet manager. And stuff. You're in the position of being comfortable doing your time and stuff, and getting on out of there and stuff like that. And now the person that folks say that they was doing too much and stuff, now that you're dispatcher, now that you're fleet manager. And now they got control of your comings and goings and stuff like that. They're sitting down and having conversations with you, in the safety department or whatever, talking about, hey man, listen, you operating your truck and stuff. They're looking at the cameras and stuff that's in there, or even suggesting putting certain devices in the equipment, for efficiency purposes. But you say, well, this is an invasion of privacy. Okay, well, yeah. All right, it's an invasion of privacy because, you want to be comfortable. You want to be in this truck and you don't want to be bothered and stuff like that. And, meanwhile, not understanding the business aspect of things and stuff, which I totally understand why they put cameras in the equipment. I totally understand it. I don't condone it, but I don't condemn it. But I mean, I totally understand why they put it in there. When you're looking at it from a business perspective, when you're looking at it from a position of efficiency and effectiveness and stuff, these are the things that got to be done. Because when they weren't there, they have these meetings and stuff, and they're looking at the bottom line. And so, the person that owns the business and stuff, he was The people that he hired was for the purposes of efficiency and effectiveness. And everybody in there is having that uncomfortable conversation and stuff, you know. So that uncomfortable conversation got to lead to you doing uncomfortable things. And so those uncomfortable things are now put into place and stuff for the purposes of efficiency and effectiveness. Well, how come I'm not getting a raise? How come I'm not getting a raise and stuff? Okay, well, these millionaires, they're going over here and doing this, that, or whatnot. You know, so you're looking at yourself from a position of comfortableness and saying, well, I'm not looking at myself and saying, all right, what is it that I'm doing to prevent myself? Because what you feel that you're doing is enough. You feel that what you're doing is sufficient and effective. Instead of going in there and having that conversation and stuff and saying, well, hey, what is it that I can do to improve efficiency and effectiveness in here? Oh man, what are you doing that for and stuff? This job doesn't care about you. This job doesn't care about you. Just go and do the job that you're hired to do, and that's that. What I'm saying, when you go to some, you know, like Amazon, for instance, Amazon is about efficiency and effectiveness. That's why they got computers and stuff that's there that's saying, okay, well, here's your order right here. And so it should take you this amount of time to get this task and stuff done. And so, you know, you're put in that position of uncomfortableness, you know, instead of being given the task and stuff from one person to another and say, okay, yeah, let's go out here and get this thing done. You know, let's go out here and get this thing done. But, you know, you don't take into accountability things that you do. Okay, well, I'm going to just sit back and ride the clock. I'm going to ride the clock and stuff and get paid for nothing. But then now the shoe is on the other foot. And now you're hiring somebody, electrician, a plumber, or somebody that's coming to your house, a car mechanic, and you're paying them by the hour to go over here and do this task and stuff. And then you look around and you see that they're not doing the thing that's needed to be done. Okay, you got a problem with that. Well, you know, see, it works on that aspect there. When you got to pay the money, you're in a position of uncomfortableness, and now you got to have that uncomfortable conversation with the person that you hired. Okay, well, the shoe, it works in all aspects. So you got to have a real conversation with self and stuff and say, well, okay, what is it I can do to improve efficiency and effectiveness? So we're in the trucking industry now and stuff where, you know, we look around, we're always associated with everything that's negative. You know, we got trash and, you know, everywhere we park at, you know, we got trash and filth and decadence that's all everywhere. We go to truck stops and they're charging us now, you know, for everything that we do. We go to these customers, you know, we go to places and park the truck, and then we wake up and then, you know, we got boots and stuff on the truck. But then now, do we have the real conversation about having appreciation for the places and for the people allowing us to go in there and stay at these places? What are we trying to do to improve ourselves and stuff as drivers and say, well, you know what, we're not associated with filth and decadence and stuff. You know, we're associated with cleanliness, you know. So when a truck and stuff is parked somewhere, people are actually coming to your defense and saying, hey, look, leave those guys alone. They're truck drivers. They know how to take care, you know, they take care of their spots, their places or whatever. You know, when you go to shopping centers or whatnot, you know, they don't have to worry about having to pick up after you or whatever, you know, even in the truck stop, you know. These are the things and stuff that we're associated with. Because we're associated with it and we don't want any kind of change, well, the businesses now have to do the uncomfortable thing, have the uncomfortable conversation, do the uncomfortable thing, and dedicate these resources. You know, and we're looking at, now we're saying it's uncomfortable. You know, you go to a truck stop and almost 75% of the truck stop is reserved. It's reserved parking. It's costing you $25. Okay, now you got to start looking at yourself and say, oh, well, we want to pay for parking. All right, we're going to have to start passing that on to the customers and stuff and start billing them $25 a day because we go somewhere and stuff and we got to pay for parking. You know, if we just sit there and make the changes necessary with ourselves, and, you know, we make the changes necessary with ourselves and stuff, you know, we clean up and keep our places and stuff clean. We Every time it's an appearance and stuff of us, we're associated with cleanliness. The perspective will change, cause hey, pilots, for instance, pilots are associated with cleanliness. They got whole lounges. And stuff dedicated to them and stuff. Hey, you go upstairs, and so, I mean, if you're a passenger or whatever, then you got to pay for that package to go up there and be in that lounge. But hey, the pilots, that's what they do. They got things and stuff laid out for them and stuff like that, because when they come to work and stuff, their uniforms and stuff are pressed. They got their hair is cut, their hair is cut and stuff, and they shave and stuff like that. They don't have to be told to do these things. They just do it. And so, that association with that and stuff, those accolades also come with it. But with us as truck drivers, we don't want to have that uncomfortable conversation and stuff with self, and then do the uncomfortable thing and stuff to improve the efficiency of us as drivers. So it's something I don't like to say it, but we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves and stuff. And so, like, well, yeah, Rooster, you're guilty of it too. Absolutely. But I point these things out and stuff and say, well, I'm going to sit around, I'm going to make some improvement. I'm not just going to sit back and stuff and say, well, no, I ain't got to improve myself. Everything around me and stuff is wrong. I know I do stuff, and I say, well, what can I do to improve the thing that I do for efficiency and effectiveness? So, this is why the channel and stuff is here, to say, well, okay, I can help by talking about the mistakes and stuff that I went through, so that you don't make those same mistakes and say, well, okay, what can I set up a portfolio for you, just as I set up one for me and stuff, so that you can navigate yourself through those pitfalls and not have to go through the same things that I have to go through. Yeah, it's going to require people having to make an uncomfortable you're going to have to make that uncomfortable. You're going to have to do something uncomfortable and stuff by looking up my number. You're going to have to reach out to me and stuff, and that's not comfortable. I say text first, instead of calling. You got to wait, and then you got to dedicate that time. I say, well, all right, so this issue right here is going to require at least an hour and a half of stuff of your time. So, you're going to have to sit down, you're going to have to write, you're going to have to listen to me and stuff as I talk. And so, I'm accused a lot of times of being very long-winded, but so be it. That long-windedness has always led to effectiveness. It led to effectiveness and efficiency, because, I always do a follow-up and a summary and say, well, okay, all right, what's the takeaway from this conversation that we had? Did I cover all the bases? And it's not just me or just anything and stuff that requires learning. It requires you to have to sit down and be stationary. It has to open up your mind. You have to open up your mind and stuff and say, well, all right, hey, man, listen, I absolutely do not know this, but I want to learn it. And this thing that someone's about to teach me and stuff is going to require my time. And so it's this time and this energy that I'm dedicating, is it worth it for me to come out of this position of not knowing? Because not knowing is a position of uncomfortableness too. I don't want to fake the funk anymore and stuff, man. I really genuinely want to learn this. That's in all aspect. That's in all aspect and stuff, man. You got to have and do the uncomfortable thing and stuff, to get things done. Now, what I don't want people and stuff to get mixed up about the sense of uncomfortableness is that having these substitutes, because substituting things also puts you in a position of uncomfortableness too, but there's very little gain and stuff out of it. So, again, if you feel that you're socially awkward, right? You feel that you're socially awkward, then you got to work on that. You got to work on that and stuff, and so I don't want to be a sociable person. All right, well, not being a sociable person means that it puts you in a position of not being able to network. And if you're not able to network, which is the thing that's needed and necessary for you to move to the next level of getting the understanding, then I guess you want to be comfortable being in the position that you're in, which you're not because it bothers you every day. Okay, what do I have to do? And just go ahead and do it and stuff, man. Just understand, yeah, you're gonna run into pitfalls and stuff. Anything that's actionary, it's not gonna always be a guaranteed success on the first run. We like to do that. We like to feel, yeah, anything that I get into and stuff, I want it to be successful. I want to take as much knowledge as I can and stuff, and then put it forward and hope that the thing that I get into is successful. And that's not the case. And so, learning from that mistake that you made can make you a better person in the long run and stuff. So embrace failure. Embrace it. It doesn't mean that you are a failure. No one wants to fail and stuff like that, but in order to succeed, that's what you got to do. You got to fail. The thing that you're trying to do, you want to do, or you plan on doing, it just ain't going to go down the way it is planned. It's something else is going to be in play. Some things that you didn't factor in, that now is factored in and stuff because of you taking that step and doing the thing that you did. Case in point, the DD-15 rebuild. It's expensive. It's expensive and stuff, but what I learned, it was a lot of takeaway and stuff from that rebuild and stuff. And so I say, well, will I make that mistake again? Not that particular mistake, but it showed me that I had several other options and stuff that I could have partaked in, but this was the path that I chose. And then there were some things that I didn't. There's some things actually I was warned about, right? Some things that I was warned about and stuff. And so, I say, well, hey, maybe I'll be an exception, or maybe they got things worked out to a point to where I don't become a statistic. And actually I did. And so, are there some things and stuff that I could have worked on and stuff? Absolutely. Based upon what I'm doing with this truck right here, there's a lot of things I could have worked on. So I say, well, can I give it another shot? Yes. Now, will I do it from a business perspective? And that I say no, because because these are the things that you got to weigh up. Okay, if you go get a rebuild, you're all in. So if they tell you 24,000, 34,000, 44,000, you got to have the money. There's no finance, unless, maybe you might find an institution and stuff that might finance that. But again, that requires you to have to go out there and network and find these people and stuff that can do it. But, for the most part and stuff, those things require you to be all in. So if I got $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to invest into this equipment, then the real question I got to ask is that, all right, this equipment that I'm about to invest into, is it something that I really want, or is there other things and stuff that I want that I can be moving towards too? I always talked about getting that W900. Well, if you got $20,000, and you don't even have to have a very good credit score. You don't even have to have a good credit score and stuff, because what you learn about business is that it's not like purchasing a car or a house or whatever. The truck is for the purpose. The truck is for the purpose of going out here and getting into this business. And so this business that you're in, you got somewhat of a portfolio about the comings and goings in the business and stuff like that. So when you talk to the financial institution, what they want is they want to know that if they stand behind this, if they finance this equipment, are they going to get their money? And so, your presentation is, all right, well, I'm in a lease program. And when I was in this lease program, I had to pay X amount of dollars a week. I had to pay this X amount of dollars a week. And so the company told me that I had to pay this into a maintenance. I had to pay this into a maintenance escrow, and I had to pay this, and I had to pay that. These were my fees and stuff here. And so the same thing still applies. The difference is that now I'm going to be responsible, even though I'm still going to be making the same amount of money, right? So you're a finance institution that's giving me X amount of time for said equipment. You're giving me 3.5 years, 4 years, or whatever. And so this is what my payment is going to be based upon this interest rate right here and stuff. And so this is what I used to pay. And so this is what I'm paying now based upon what you got worked out. Okay. They can't see what the problem is. Well, yeah, I'm going right back over to the same place. You know, hey, I'm in this lease like I said, I'm in a lease program, $1,400. I had to pay $1,400 a week in a lease program. That's $72,000. That's $72,000 a year. And yet the bank is now giving you this same truck for $72,000, and they're giving you 3.5 years stuff. Yeah, they're giving you 3.5 years, but you was in a lease program where you was paying $14 a week. So you know, the portfolio now is that the money that I used to pay and stuff, these things are going to be broken down. This is going to be my truck payment. This is what I'm going to be putting into my escrow, so I don't have to be making any kind of phone calls to you and stuff about, hey man, come pick this truck up because the truck and stuff broke down. You know, all right, I understand the length of the warranty, what it covers, what it doesn't cover, and stuff like that. And so I got a safety net to cover this, that, or whatever. You know, because that's all that is just convincing a financial institution that if they make this investment and stuff, that they're going to be getting this return back. They don't want the equipment, they just want the money. And so when you're in these lease programs, that's what you've been doing. You know, that zero money down lease. You know, you paying this and stuff a week. There's the portfolio right there and stuff. Okay. The change is that I'm paying you guys monthly instead of paying them weekly. And so, you know, it's the same amount of money, but you know, this is where we're going to be moving this money to this position and that position, and things will still be taken care of. So how can you lose? You know, hey, well, I was in this lease program and stuff for 3 years, paying 14. So, you know, so I'm sitting over here. I got $210,000 again. They're not reporting this. They're not reporting this to any kind of credit bureau or whatever. But I have the portfolio right here in front of me. Where these people took out this money every single week. This is what I did and stuff for 2 years or 3 years or whatever. So this is what you present. So why is the bank going to turn you down when you got a solid portfolio sitting in front of you? Why are they going to turn you down? Even if they charge you know, a high interest rate or whatever and stuff, it still doesn't come nowhere to what you was paying in that lease. And then you're talking about going right back to the same carrier. Okay, well, if you're comfortable being at that carrier, that's fine. You know, I say step things up a little bit. You don't have to go into their lease program. You can go right over there across the street to the same Freightliner. You go right over there across the street to the same Freightliner stuff. Find you a financial institution. And stuff. Set that portfolio down and stuff. And they're going to tell you, okay, well, yeah, this is what we require now, which you shouldn't have no problem and stuff coming up with. You know, they selling that truck, you know, they're selling the truck for $72,000. It still got warranty and stuff on it. Okay, so if they want 20%, they want 20% of 72,000. If they want 20% of 72,000, okay, you go over there with 14,000. That's worst case scenario. So I'm saying, you know, the price goes down from 20%. That's what I'm talking about. If your credit is just extremely jacked up, but you know, goes back to the next point. Hey, do you know what your FICO score is? Do you know what your credit score is? Okay. Well, now you got to start going into, you got to start doing the uncomfortable thing of looking to see where is it that you stand with your credit. Okay. Now you got to start networking. I don't know. So let me start getting with some people and stuff that do know. Okay. Let me shoot them a couple of dollars and stuff like that and see what they're talking about. And then they can present something to me to know where I stand solidly, because you're not going to know everything. You're not going to know everything and stuff, even though, it's a requirement and stuff that you're responsible for these things and stuff. Same thing with doing your taxes. You got to get a CPA. You got to get a CPA, a certified public accountant. So, it's not so much as going to H&R Block and stuff. You got guys that sit there and do taxes all year. And I'm not talking about your cousin, or somebody that that does it and stuff. I'm talking about a person that does this regularly. This is their business right here. This is their brick and mortar business that you can go to and stuff, and sit down and talk to them and let them know and stuff what you're doing. In other words, present your business portfolio and stuff to them, and they can get familiarized with the tax codes and stuff like that, because that's their job. You got people out here that specifically work in just trucking, and that's it. You got to sit down and have that uncomfortable conversation and stuff. It's not, when we're talking about business, there's not a time I sat down and talked to my CPA and stuff. And, if it's something that's outside of business, okay. But when they're talking about business, hey, all right, here's what it is and stuff. Here's what it is and stuff. This is what you did. This is what you did right here. Cut this check to state, cut this check to federal. And I'll see you next month. Okay. And then, of course, this is my fee right here and stuff. And so, to kind of expedite the process and stuff like that, what is it that I can do and stuff, and so to make things easier and stuff like that. And so, shoot, you go there in the morning, you drop your stuff off, man, he already got your figure worked up and stuff in a few hours. And so, it's an uncomfortable process and stuff. But the thing is, what they do on their side there and stuff, it's not even going to require them to be audited. You got to worry about being audited and stuff like that. We hear these stories, but the reality is that the person that's preparing your stuff is to ensure that, you don't have to worry about an audit. What are they coming after? It's not like you're making millions of dollars, It's not like you're making millions of dollars. It's just you moving money from one place to another. And the thing that you're doing is actually good for society, because look at the people that you're employing. These people that you employ are folks that don't have to rely on the government for nothing. You got a CPA, you got a mechanic, you got a financial institution. These things and stuff that you do that they give credit and stuff for. Okay, so that's the long short end of it and stuff. But a CPA can give you a better understanding of it. Or if you simply look at it from business perspective, again, being in that uncomfortable position, you can see these things and stuff yourself and say, well, all right, yeah, it's necessary for me to make these type of investments and so on and so forth. You want to do the cash route? Okay, do the cash route. But understand the uncomfortableness that comes with that. Yeah, you don't have to make a truck payment. You don't have to make a truck payment to the bank. Yeah, that's comfortable. They're not drafting out any kind of money out your account and stuff like that. So if something does happen out here, you got that extra money and stuff there. But then the other side of it is that, do you have someone that's reliable in case something does happen? You could take your equipment and stuff there, you got, and it's not just this person here, because, maybe you might luck up and you can, the premise is that if something happens, that you can get it to the shop, to this particular shop of choice and stuff, and they can take care of what the problem is. But then, what's the chances of that happening? So can you increase your network to say, well, if I'm over here, I go to this guy. If I'm over here, I go to this guy. If I'm over here, I go to that guy. That requires networking. Getting over here, making the phone calls and stuff like that. Your own social media. These businesses out here putting themselves out there every single time. Okay, well, yeah, I want your business. So, you know, you sit down and you talk to them, even if nothing comes out of it and stuff, right? You never know what might come. You never know what might come in the future. You know, that requires networking. You know, they understand and stuff that everything is not going to be a home run. Everything is not going to be a home run and stuff. But, you know, you put yourself out there for the sake of networking. This person right here can't help you, but they could put you in a position to someone who can help. Networking. So, you know, you got that you go to cash route and stuff like that. You know, you get your people and stuff en route. And then again, you know, you gotta you know, with your networking, okay, these are the things that I may or may not have to do and stuff, but those tools are there for the sake that if something does happen, right, that I can go ahead and I can partake in that. Networking. You know, if you go the cash route and stuff, I mean, just understand, yeah, there's a sense of comfortableness and there's a sense of uncomfortableness. Okay, well, I go the finance route. Well, there's a sense of comfortableness and a sense of uncomfortableness. Okay, well, your trucks, you know, most of the trucks and stuff that they sell now under warranty. You know, they're under warranty, but I'm saying then there's some things that are not under warranty that may still require large amounts of money and stuff to get put into it. But, you know, like I just had to purchase a radiator. That's not a comfortable position. But I mean, luckily enough, through networking and, you know, my truck, you know, it broke down while I was here in North Carolina, and I made it back to a place that did a radiator for me before. And they kept radiators and stuff in stock, so I already knew. I didn't have to make one phone call and stuff, and that was to their business that did my radiator on my 13. I knew the price that they charged and stuff like that. They were familiar with me, so I went, dropped the truck off on Monday, Tuesday afternoon, even though they, you know, the projected thing was to take the truck in there Tuesday, get it back Thursday. Shoot, dropped it off on Monday, Tuesday afternoon, they called me and saying it's done. You know, they got the part in stock. They do real good work. They're gonna check on other things and stuff for me, so I don't run into issues and stuff down the road. And so, you know, that's that. They build radiators, they clean radiators and stuff. And so, before I had to call around the dealerships and stuff, and this was at a time where they had shortages on stuff. So there was a great big markup and stuff like that. So, you know, you can imagine my surprise by calling these guys here and stuff. Not only did they have it in stock, but they was willing to put it in for this said price here. They took care of some other stuff for me, and, you know, when I came out the shop, you know, I made out fairly good. You know, that required networking. So I already knew what to do once I figured out what the problem was. And again, doing the uncomfortable work, getting myself familiarized with what's going on with my equipment, because before my radiator went out, my water pump failed. Well, my water pump was failing. And stuff. And so how did I know? Because of what happened with my 13. You know, being in that uncomfortable position there and stuff, and, you know, seeing that it was showing the signs of it going out and stuff. So whereas last time I had to get towed, or I had to call a roadside person and stuff, this time I didn't have to do it. You know, made it to the shop. They pulled it in there and stuff, in and out of there in a few hours, all under warranty. You know, so through trial and error, through networking, because, you know, I had to find this dealership that I went to and stuff. I dealt with them before. You know, and stuff. You know, I was in and out of there and stuff. Went back in there, same result, in and out of there. You know, I didn't even have to call them and set no appointment up. You know, I just had to get in there early enough and stuff. And so I got it in there. Said, yeah, all right, we got the part in stock. Go on upstairs, chill on out. You know, we waiting on this person stuff to come in. He's gonna work on your truck and stuff like that. We project you to be out around this time right here and stuff. And, Just sure enough, they did. Didn't have to spend the night or go get no motel or none of that stuff there. Just got it in there early enough. It was uncomfortable because it stopped me from what I was originally trying to do and stuff. But at the same time, I took care of the problem, so it wasn't going to be a problem in the future. And so, what you do in trucking is that you turn your breakdowns into just normal repairs. And that's all it is and stuff. Yeah, a breakdown, when you sitting over there on the side of the road, you can't drive the truck. You got to get a tow truck and stuff to come take you to the repair place and stuff like that. But, through trial and error of understanding, okay, yeah, this part that was going out, it was showing signs that it was. And so when you pay attention to it and you see these things and you catch it early enough, right, you can go ahead in the shop. You go ahead in the shop and stuff, and it's just a repair. It's not a breakdown. You do have to make a phone call and stuff or two and have that uncomfortable conversation. You behind you probably got a load, and hey man, listen, I'm gonna be behind delivering this thing and stuff, but it is what it is. It's not like hey, you got to send somebody to come pick this load up because my truck got to be towed and stuff, and I'm over here on some mountain somewhere almost about to freeze to death waiting on somebody to come pick me up. Those are the things that you work on so you don't be in those positions there. So, it takes a sense of uncomfortableness and stuff, but it also takes networking and stuff too. And so I said, well, that's why I put these things up here. Whatever truck I have, you're experiencing this problem right here. Okay, well, look, all right, is it doing this, this, and this? All right, well then, if that's the case and stuff, you need to go ahead and, you don't have to worry about this, or yeah, there's something that you need to go ahead and jump on, So I sit there, I document, and then, I want to be a sense of networking. I want to be a sense of networking and stuff. So this is what I do. It's a position of uncomfortableness and stuff, but even these uploads and stuff, it puts you in a position of uncomfortableness because it's something you got to learn. You got to learn how to post these things up and stuff, and you got to learn the social media networking and the algorithms and so on and so forth. I'm saying I'm not doing it for monetization purposes and stuff, so I really don't have to go that deep in there, nor do I'm doing this for popularity. It's just simply those who want to learn what's going on and stuff like that. You want to come to YouTube University and stuff. Hey, here's what it is. Guys, the popular thing isn't always the best thing. And I don't make a living off YouTube, so I don't worry about monetization, those sort of things there. But I feel that my dissertation, when I talk to people, that I have to conduct my words in a way that it can be understood. So, I don't use profanity and I don't use the N-word and stuff like that, when I'm talking to people, because I want you to get an understanding of what it is that I'm talking about, and showing that, yeah, here's a person right here that knows how to convey. He knows how to convey and take his words, and he knows how to articulate himself without going to those repeat phrases and stuff like that. Even though I say and stuff a lot, but I don't say bro and come on bro, this bro and that bro and the N-word, or just use the profanity and stuff like that. Just conduct myself in a way to where I can talk to people and convey my thoughts without having to go, in that direction, even in positions of anger. Because the comfortable thing to do is just to sit there and say all these things, It's to say all these things, but to conduct yourself as such, it puts you in a position of uncomfortableness. You gotta, some things and stuff are said or done, and you gotta hold your tongue for the most part. You gotta hold your tongue for the most part, because as you can see, even when giving out certain information that's helpful, it's not going to always be reciprocated and stuff. And so, even in that, you got to conduct yourself in a way to where you don't retaliate. You don't retaliate in such a way that brings on this sense of aggression. Because nothing that I feel that nothing that I do, and stuff requires that. It's just simply sit there talking about said issue and look at other forms and other means of getting things and stuff done. It's like, well, hey, some things that you do, that's anticipated, but if there's a way that, we're all in this business, and if there's a better way for things and stuff to get done, you may not know what it is. You simply may not know. And if it can get pointed in that direction to help you out in the aspect of business, then hey, that's what I'm willing to do. This is what businesses do all over. That's networking. So anyway, go ahead and get ready to do some uncomfortable stuff now. I got to get ready to go and hit this road and stuff here. I hope that the information that I brought out here was helpful. I see this device here, it's the first time me using it, and I'll try to work on it stuff for the most part, and do those uncomfortable things and stuff of learning this device and stuff that I have to maximize its efficiency. So I'll go ahead and end on that note there. So with that being said, this your man right here. Follow me on Instagram, which is Rhode Island Red Rooster 22. Rhode Island Red Rooster 22 on Instagram. I'm posting up things about my 2013 and my 2022, my 2020 Freeliner Cascadia. Stay tuned to the channel because there's many things and stuff to come as they roll out. And with that being said, this your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster. Telling you as always, continue to do your own research, fact-finding studies. Honest on your skills every day. Till next time we talk, next time we meet. Be safe, be easy, peace out.